The best news out of that Ripon fire was the fact that no one was hurt.
However, 3 businesses were damaged and 26 people were forced from their apartments. The initial call came in around 2:30 for the fire on Watson Street, and that's right in the heart of downtown Ripon. Fox 11's Chad Doran joins us now live from Ripon with the latest. Chad?
Well, good evening, Tom and Michelle. It's a much different scene out here right now than it was even just a couple of hours ago. If you take a look down the street here, this was filled with fire trucks throughout the day today. But right now, all that's left are just a couple members of the Ripon Fire Department. And if you look over here across the street, you can see these 3 buildings that were damaged by the fire. Much of that damage still covered in ice from when the water was being put on them throughout the day. Now, the hotspots have been put out, at least for now, and the investigation into what started this fire is underway. As flames began to consume these buildings in downtown Ripon, many of the 26 people living above them were asleep.
I get up and I open the door and there's a police officer and he's saying to get out of our apartment that there's a fire next door.
It took more than 5 hours for crews battling the fire in bitter cold temperatures to get the upper hand.
It was too far ahead of us to put our guys in there, and knowing everybody was out, that's the mode we took.
Saul says crews from as many as 20 different departments helped fight the fire. And all that water use put a strain on the city's water system.
We were flowing over 5,800 gallons a minute at one point. We had to go to different fire hydrants to be able to supply all those ladder trucks that were flowing water. We couldn't flow all that off of one fire hydrant.
And nearby business owners could only watch and hope crews could stop it from spreading.
It's a scary situation where you don't know what's going on when you get a phone call at 5:15 a.m.
The Red Cross is assisting the 26 people whose apartments were damaged. Some may not have apartments to return to, as the roofs of at least 2 of the buildings collapsed.
We don't know how bad it is yet, but we pretty much lost our whole apartment.
And while it could take days for investigators to figure out the cause, some are already counting their blessings.
God works in mysterious ways, and this can be a blessing in disguise. So it's not as bad as, we lost stuff, but as long as the kids and my wife are all right and nobody got hurt, then you can't complain too bad.
Now, Chief Saul told me this afternoon investigators won't actually be going into these buildings until the daylight hours tomorrow, and that means it could be some time yet before we know exactly how this fire started. Reporting live in Ripon, Chad Doran, Fox 11 News.
The Ripon community is supporting the people who are now homeless because of this fire. The Traded Treasures thrift shop and community food pantry on Jackson Street in downtown Ripon is now a drop-off point for donations. Coordinators say more than anything else with the cold, right now they need winter coats, snow pants, shoes, and boots for young boys and girls. They say they also need men's and women's adult jackets size 3XL. The donated items will be set up in a space next to the thrift store.
We'll set it up as a great big free store. So when families come in and they need clothing, they can shop, go through just like a regular store, and they leave with no ticket price.
Organizers were also accepting gift cards for fire victims.